are back for another episode of Get a Load of This. From the Silver Creek Studios, I'm Jarod.
I'm Ryan.
And it is October.
It is.
We actually, I think our last episode technically was in October.
Right. Well, it was released in October. When did we?
It was the 2nd.
All right. Well, fuck it. Whatever.
But
it was still early October.
We had a whole new season to talk about and a new
And
format.
here in the Midwest, the weather has not been October-like.
It was 85 degrees today.
Yeah,
so.
I'm tired of this shit. I want to be able to put on a fleece.
Yeah.
And,
It's coming. I think tomorrow is going to be dropping, and then the next day is like high in the 50s.
I'm much more well equipped for fall weather when it comes to my my wardrobe, if you will. I have a shitload of quarter zip pullovers.
Me too,
but
yeah.
I only got so many polos that I can
Right.
roll out, and t-shirts or
Yep.
they don't. Seems like t-shirts used to last a lot longer. It's like now all my t-shirts are, I don't know. I'm fat and smelly, and they don't last like they used to. But
Yeah.
whatever. But I'm glad fall's right around the corner.
Me too.
Now, everybody's makes all the jokes about pumpkin everything, and when you originally brought up that you wanted to do a fall themed, I'm thinking, oh fuck, we're doing pumpkin spice everything, pumpkin spice podcast, but we don't have anything pumpkin related here.
There's no pumpkin ale. There's no pumpkin spice.
But there's plenty of them out there if we wanted to try one.
For
but
sure.
I think I've had one, and I'm sure there's some good ones out there if you like that kind of thing, but I just have no desire.
Right.
I like Oktoberfest. Stubborn. I went to Stubborn Fest.
Oh, yeah? How was that?
It was a drunk fest is what it was. It was good. I was there. It's a 2-night deal. So for those listeners out there, if you ever make it to the beautiful, small town of Waterloo, Illinois, there's a brewery in that town called Stubborn German Brewery, and they have every year, second year now, they have what they call Stubborn Fest, and they shut the street down on the town square, and they had a bandstand, and they had a polka type band, but they were singing. They did Beastie Boys. They did. I mean, with
Nice.
a guy with a, I don't know, was it a tuba or flugelhorn or whatever the hell that's called? Not a flugelhorn. It was
Probably a tuba. Yeah.
probably, but it was smaller than it. It was.
Well, the big one that wraps around you, here we go, band nerd.
All right,
It's
come on.
technically called a sousaphone.
Okay.
The one that you can just kind of cradle in your arms is a tuba.
Okay, well, he had a tuba. He did not have a sousaphone. Sorry, John Phillip.
Right.
But no, and they were good. I mean, the guy that was playing the tuba was, he was fucking crushing it, man. And he was wearing leather pants, like lederhosen.
Nice.
And it was like, dude, that guy had to be sweating his balls off. It was all of 85 at night, and he was dancing. And I mean, again, they were doing everything. I mean, the most notable one was Beastie Boys. They did Girls, and did a hell of a rendition of it, though, for a polka band. They're really good. And
did they have them in that little caged-in area where the?
No, they brought a like a trailer bandstand. You know, like one they roll in on. It's a trailer.
Oh, outside there.
Right in front of the brewery. And but yeah, they had the whole. I don't know the whole street, but most of that street shut down, and it was a hell of an event.
Cool.
I didn't drink a lot of their beer because the lines were a little bit crazy. We did go over to the other microbrewery, the Hopskeller. I had a pizza there, and I had one or two beers there. And then most of the night I went to Randy's, which because it was easier to get in and out of.
Sure.
And they didn't have the craft brew, but I could get any other beer I wanted.
Bud Light there.
Yeah, and it worked out pretty well. But it was a good night, and I saw a lot of people I hadn't seen since summer baseball, and had good conversations. Everybody got drunk. I was out till way past my bedtime, but it was fun. And the next day, I think it poured down rain on those poor bastards. But I think they made a shitload of. I don't know. I can't say what their bottom line was, but they had to have made a good amount of money. Yeah. They had a good showing, and even the surrounding establishments, I'm sure they did well. But they have a beer. It's an Oktoberfest beer. It's called Stubborn Fest. It is delicious. It's a very good beer. So, but they have it year round because it's that good.
Right. Well, I wanted to, like you said, for the month of October, I thought it'd be kind of neat to do a fall theme, whatever. And since we've been doing beer reviews, I figure why not Oktoberfest?
Yeah.
So I'm at the store and looking at the various different brands. Schlafly is big around here in St. Louis. But I saw this Shiner brand, Shiner Oktoberfest. And I like the Shiner Bock that I've had recently. So I thought I'd grab some Shiner Oktoberfest.
It's out of Texas, right?
They are out of Texas.
Dallas? Fort Worth?
Shiner, Texas. That's the name.
That's a town?
Mm-hmm. Shiner, Texas.
No shit.
Apparently, there's just over 2,000 people. It's a real small town.
I'd probably like it there.
And the brewery is called the Spetzel, Spoetzl, Spetzel Brewery.
Doesn't sound very Texas.
Well, he's a German guy who came and bought their brewery.
He lives in
a long
Texas.
time ago.
He's a Texan.
Yeah. But so we got our mugs. We're gonna pour this out.
Is this a pop top, a twist off? I think it looks like a twist off.
Yeah. If I can.
You want me to open that for you, Jarod?
My delicate hands. There we go.
Oh, you got it. Good. I'm proud of you. So let's see what we got here.
So we're gonna pour out our Oktoberfest, and I'm gonna get into a little bit of
this mug is clean, right?
Research. Oh yeah.
All right. I didn't ask. I should have asked before I started pouring. It's not as dark as I would have expected it to be.
No, I expected it to be a little darker. But it's kind of got that reddish amber hue to it. Let's get some photos.
Well, something like this. All right.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a good, fine-looking glass of beer.
It is. You poured a bigger head.
I did. Well, I was a little sloppy with it.
Yeah. So this is from the Spetzel Brewery, Marzen style beer, which we're going to talk about. Shiner, Texas.
You're going to talk about.
I'm going to try to. Is there any description on here? There is.
I can't fucking read it.
So fine in a stein.
Every drop of Shiner is brewed in Shiner, Texas. You already probably said that. I'm just trying to read now. I can't see shit on this thing.
Every September, millions of people from around the world gather in Munich to celebrate Oktoberfest.
We should do a
Germany.
remote.
Yeah, we should. That'd be fun.
That's cheap.
With a name like that, you'd think it'd start a month later, but hey, it's tradition. And if you can't be there in person, you can be there in spirit with this classic brew made from Munich and caramel malts, along with German-grown, Hallertau tradition. There was water smudged on it, couldn't read it. And Hersbrucker hops. Now, fill your stein, ready, 1, 2, 3. Enjoy. Okay.
We're supposed to do like a siggy.
Yeah,
Hoi,
yeah.
hoi, hoi.
So
what's the style of brewing that the Kraftig that they are? Maybe it's not Kraftig. Maybe it's Heineken.
Yeah,
that advertises
it's Kraftig with the Reinheitsgebot.
Reinheitsgebot.
Yeah. So that is a thing.
Well, they're saying a different thing here, though.
Well,
the style, their standards are not Reinheitsgebot.
The Reinheitsgebot, apparently, at the official Oktoberfest that takes place in Munich, Germany, the only beer that can be served there has to follow the Reinheitsgebot tradition, and it can only be brewed by one of 6 brewers in Munich. So that's the official, this is just a beer in the style of Oktoberfest. But let's try it, and then we'll talk a little bit more about it.
Here we go.
It's good. I like it.
That is tasty.
It's got that maltiness to it.
It tastes like an Oktoberfest.
Yeah. So, do you know why it's called a Marzen style beer?
No, Jarod, why don't you tell me?
Marzen is German for March, as in the month of March.
So that's whenever they brew the shit,
right?
And they put it in the barrels, and they don't open it until October.
So back in the day, before refrigeration, they could only brew beer in the cooler months. Once summer came around, it didn't work for fermentation.
Sure.
So March was the last month they could brew beer, and so they would brew this stuff, put it in caves to keep it cool, and then in late summer, early fall, they would get it out in September, October, and drink it, and that became their Oktoberfest beer, a Marzen March style beer. And now, the other thing that's a little different in America, they have these, what we're drinking now, a little bit darker, amber-colored, richer beer, which is how it used to be in Germany. But over the last 150 years, it's gotten lighter and lighter and lighter in Germany to where it's a golden kind of pale lager now. I think they were trying to expand to broader tastes over there in Germany.
Budweiser took over, and they're like, everybody likes that golden beer. Yeah. We should start to make it look closer to that.
Yeah, and this is meant to be like the classic style. So actually, American Oktoberfest is more classic than the current German Oktoberfest.
Really? All right.
And it takes place in the original Oktoberfest is in Munich, Germany. Bavaria. We've all heard of Bavarian style beer or whatever.
And pretzels.
I don't think I even knew what exactly that meant. Bavaria is just a state in Germany. It's the southern state of Germany.
I think I knew that.
It's where Munich is.
I didn't know it was a state. I guess I always thought it was like a city or a region or whatever. Yeah. Bavarian region, I guess. Right. Yeah.
So, yeah, I never knew exactly what that meant. But, yeah, that's the southern state of
great
Germany.
Pretzels,
where Munich
great
is.
beer.
Yeah.
Bavarian. What else is in Bavarian? Women. I think Bavarian women. That brought on the St. Pauli girl label.
Oh, right. Yeah.
I imagine she's Bavarian. Yep. She's always fun to look at. But, this is tasty.
This is good. It's kind of caramely. It's got the malt flavor. Not a lot of hops as far as, you think of like an IPA or something with crazy hops.
No, that is good. And it's not great. It's not hoppy. It's definitely malty.
Yeah.
And it is a smooth beer. It does have a little bit of a aftertaste, a little bit of a wang to it, if you will.
Well, some of those kind of specialty beers, whatever you want to call it, you really can't drink that too often. It has its place, certain season or certain time.
Yeah.
I feel like this is something you could drink year-round.
I'm telling you what, I bought a bunch of Stone months ago. Stone IPA, which Stone is, I don't even know where Stone's from, but it's been in my refrigerator, and I had one left.
Yeah.
And I don't know why, I just hadn't been drinking it. I just hadn't been in the mood for it. And I had bought other IPAs, but I'd never drank this one. So anyway, tonight's fridge clean out night.
Yeah.
I brought the whole damn thing with me. Not the whole fridge, but all the beer that was in it. And I have no idea where this is made from. Brewed and bottled by Stone Brewing Company, Escondido, California, and Richmond, Virginia. Anyway.
Wow. Both coasts.
Yeah. Well, they got distribution issues. But I drank, and it's old. Not that it should matter too much because it's been refrigerated, but it was rough. I was like, man, I can't handle another one of those. So
really,
yeah, I went from that and I had Bud Light and now this. Yeah. But I got all kinds of variety in here. I'm probably going to be shit faced before the night's through. So
hey, it's one of those days.
I might
one of those
sleep
nights.
right here in the studio,
totally
and
fine.
You'll just throw a rug over me.
We'll send the dog for you in the morning.
Yeah, she won't come near me. No, this is good.
That's
it's making me forget all my problems, all my woes, and it's
Ryan's going through some stuff.
It's not that terrible. It's first world problems. We've talked about those before.
When part of the list of problems is the screen on your iPhone is not working right, then
well, not my fucking iPhone because I don't use an iPhone.
Because fuck Apple.
Yeah, I mean. I don't know. These cell phones.
You can say it.
I mean, I like the MacBooks that I've purchased. My wife has one. My son has one. They are great computers. They're solid as a rock. Mm-hmm. But the iPhone, I think, is probably one of the most overrated technological devices in the history of man. Yeah. I mean, I don't know what else find another one. I mean, it's like, people say, oh, the iPhone's the greatest invention ever. It's like, there was other smartphones before the iPhone. I mean, there was a Windows phone. There was and
a lot better ones now.
BlackBerry, yes, and there are better ones today, in my opinion. But it's like, talk about the greatest inventions. Like, what about the fucking microwave? What about the What about the toaster? I mean, everybody loves toast.
Right. Everyone does.
There's
love
a lot
toast.
of good things out the radio, the television, the guitar.
Right.
I mean, come on. The iPhone isn't that.
Now, I will say,
great.
I'm going to take the other side of this, and I'm a total Apple hater. But I mean, I do think they're a really well-made phone in general with a good operating system, nice, lovely, clear, colorful screen. They're good, but they're not flawless. They aren't. They will. Fail on you. They will break. They don't last forever. So fuck all that hype that people give with Apple products. Well, just get an iPhone. It'll last forever. Yeah,
that's bullshit because my son has an 18-month-old iPhone 7 that, based on my research, I believe it's the digitizer, has failed. Or there's a loose cable in there somewhere, which the cable's the size of a pubic hair, so I'm not going to open that motherfucker up and try to, reseat the cable.
Yeah.
And I've opened up other devices, tablets usually, and I've replaced, pieces of them without much incident. But screw that; those pieces are so tiny. Yeah. I'm not in a Chinese sweatshop. I don't know how to do that shit. So, it's Chuck's phone. So bad news is he won't be calling in tonight to share his wisdom.
To that.
He now knows where the Klondike bars are anyway, so he has no need for me anymore. But his phone took a shit, and I don't know. It pisses me off because it's right at 18 months, which is how long the lease is through Sprint for all of our phones. Imagine that,
Right.
And
Shocking.
then my wife's phone, she's like, my battery's draining fast. Oh, no shit, And honestly, mine is too. And I take pretty good care of my stuff. So I do believe that some of this is...
What do they call it? Planned obsolescence?
Planned obsolescence is a real... I think the nation of Italy is actually suing Apple for planned obsolescence.
Yeah.
I could be wrong on that. I have to fact check myself on that one, but
it doesn't matter.
Right, we can say whatever the fuck we want. So anyway, the good news is that we fulfilled our commitment to Sprint.
You don't owe anything if you have to go in there and get a new phone. You're not short.
But the bad news is that the way the contract structured, my dumb ass for not reading the contract fully and getting a lawyer to come in and go over it with me, because that's about what it would take, is that even though
You've made your final payment.
Yes, I've made my 18 payments on all the phones.
Which you keep saying that, and I keep thinking that sounds weird that it's not 24 months.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, right. Well, I had to pay an initial, when I bought the phones, I paid $25 up front.
Okay.
And then I paid 18 payments. It was different because I got a Samsung S8 Plus. My wife got an S8. The boys got iPhone 7s. And then the Big O, he got like a 6S or something like that. But he got a 64 megabyte.
Oh, yeah.
He got a big one. And it was refurbished, but it was a deal. And he didn't care. He was 10,
Right.
So, so we fulfilled what we would have thought we fulfilled. Nope. They tell me that if I don't come and turn in my phone and terminate my contract, they will continue to charge me an extended what I just call it, lease, an extended lease payment every month. For as long as I keep these phones, they will charge me an extended lease payment that's about the same as what the lease payment was. Right? Or I could come in and do the purchase option, which is a couple $100 for every single phone. It's just like a car. If you lease a car, when the lease is up, you go in and you can either throw the keys on the desk or you can pay to buy out the lease.
So is that to encourage you to get a new phone and then lock in with them for another 18 months or 20 months?
That's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
So, and the other thing is...
Somebody in marketing's getting a raise.
If I was to go... So I'm a Sprint. If I was to go to AT&T, and I want to get new phones with AT&T, they got a lot of great deals and for new customers. Every one of those deals requires a trade-in.
Right.
If I trade in my phone with AT&T, I cannot return the phone to Sprint. They're going to charge me the purchase price of that phone. So I'm either going to get charged $1,000 over here at Verizon or at Sprint to because I'm not going to give them the phones, and I'm going to go
the full purchase price,
no,
or just like some
$200
prorated.
bucks a phone.
Okay.
So, and I have five lines because So it'd be about $1,000 nut to pay to Sprint whenever I tell them to piss off, and I'm going over here to AT&T, but I'm going to save a pretty significant amount. I got to do the math to figure out where's it more beneficial. T-Mobile, I think, is the only one that I could in my very quick research that I did this afternoon. T-Mobile is the only one that will refund you your termination cost. So T-Mobile would pay for that $200 per line per phone. But you have T-Mobile, but T-Mobile kind of sucks.
It's gotten better since when you had it and we had it at the beginning. It's much better.
Well, I mean, they have a similar network to Sprint as far as their gaps in the map. They have very similar issues.
Right.
You look at Verizon's coverage map,
they're
and
the best.
AT&T's right there too. I mean,
you're paying for it.
Yeah, but you pay up for it. So it creates a fucking headache that I don't want to deal with.
Yeah.
I have my phone.
Just go re-up. Just go.
Well, I know that's what it's boiling down to. But my phone works fine, and my battery maybe drains a little bit faster. Honestly, I think if I was just do a system refresh, if I was to restore it, I could probably be back in business and like a brand new phone because it's in perfect condition. Now, it's not broken in any way.
Do you mind? You mentioned to us earlier how you pay a premium to get unlimited data.
Yeah.
But you tracked the other day how much data you and your kids are really using. Do you mind?
Well, I mean, I pay $300.
It's pretty funny.
Well,
you don't have to. Okay.
Well, we've talked about how much we pay for cable. And Joe, he pays a lot for cable. We don't because we've cut the cable, and now I have PlayStation View. So I've been really cheap on the TV and entertainment stuff. I pay $324 a month for our cell phone bill, but I have 5 lines.
all unlimited, right?
All of them are unlimited data, but I think it is throttled at some point, but it's a pretty high number. Like I have to get to like 15 before it throttles at all. But it's all bullshit.
Yeah.
It's all in the super fine print that you don't know when they're throttling that crap on. You have no fucking clue. So I pay $324 and some change, and I'm like, man, well, most of that is the fees for those lease payments. Yep. So maybe me being stupid and lazy and not researching the contract, I presumed that when my 18 months were up, those lease fees would drop off. Mm-hmm. I would have phones that function, and my bill would drop dramatically. No, that's not how it's structured. And my dumb ass, whoops, live and learn, right? Yeah. So now it's a matter of I've learned, how do I fix this fucking problem? How do I resolve this? And what it looks like, at least today, is that I keep paying the same amount to Sprint, or I go in and I throw every phone on the table and say, see you later, and I go over and swallow a bitter pill with AT&T or Verizon or T-Mobile or someone.
I don't think I would do that. I mean, maybe you could. I think I would just do what they designed.
Bite the bullet.
Just re-up, get another one.
Well, and that's the other thing. It used to be, like 5 years ago, when you got a new phone, there was a substantial difference in the new phone.
Yeah.
What you were getting in that next handset.
It was so exciting to get a new phone because it was light years better.
It was a new operating system. It had new features. It had a fingerprint scanner, right? Yeah, and better cameras. That. Now the changes are so incremental. Right. I mean, there's nothing that's really driving me to design. So I have an 8S Plus.
S8.
S8 Plus. Thank you very much. My wife has an S8. And
gender equality, folks.
Her hands are smaller, Look, so
that's okay.
The S9, she had a Note, which was as big as before huge. That her phone was whatever Note 6 or 7, not the one that blew up, not the one that caught on fire.
Oh, right.
And that was a great phone, but she hated it because it was too damn big and it was too big for her hands.
Yeah.
But I like Samsung phones. They're reliable, but there's nothing in the S9. Or the S9 Plus or the Note 9 that is worthy of me being excited about and spending more money on. So, and the iPhone XS, I think, is that they have 7s. The boys do. There's some big differences there as far as the screen and just the way that it's laid out.
But you're not going to upgrade them to that.
If there's a deal, that's the only way I'll do it. I mean, I know that they've got a lot of deals going on where you could buy one get one, or they have discounts on because it's the hot item.
So a buddy of mine, loyal listener, was saying they recently paid off their phones on their Verizon plan, and so their lease payment went down significantly. Right. So they're basically just paying for their data, and they just have 2 phones. I think their kids aren't old enough yet to have smartphones, but anyway, he said for and I don't remember if it's unlimited or not. I almost feel like it is, but if it's not, it might be 4 gigs or something. They're paying like $53 a month for two smartphones.
That's a hell of a deal.
Yeah, and it's Verizon.
Yeah.
So but before that, it was well over 100, I think, for 2. So anyway,
I mean, that's just the way it is, and it's because of our thirst for the newest and latest and greatest. And, and now I've got myself kind of hemmed in because I've been doing this. I've been chasing it for a while. We've been with AT&T and Verizon, and now Sprint.
You have T-Mobile. You bounced all over.
I don't think we ever had T-Mobile. I think we talked about it.
Oh, okay.
We discussed it because I knew you had it, and we probably talked to you about it to see if it was worth it. But we ended up, but I've been bouncing around getting the latest deal.
Yep.
And now I've got myself kind of painted into a corner here, I think.
That's all right though.
But such
what
is life.
Sucks though is when you have something like this screen that's malfunctioning or whatever, or whatever happens, and if your whole family gets on at the same time, then you all get off your plan at the same time, and you can kind of easily switch if you need to.
Right.
But when you have halfway through a billing, that 2-year period, somebody's phone breaks, you got to get another one. Well, now their plan's not up when your phone is up.
Well, and that's what I was saying. It's kind of good, kind of bad. Kind of good that Chuck had this problem last night, which we just paid the last installment on the 4th of October. So, I mean, really just paid it.
Yeah.
The only phone that isn't, and I think even he still qualifies somehow, because Oliver has this iPhone 6S that was a refurbished deal and it was on just a slightly different timetable or for whatever reason. So he hasn't paid all of his payments, but they're still allowed, according to their website, they'll allow him to upgrade. I don't understand. It's all bullshit.
Right.
So, but yeah, it does all line up pretty nicely that we can all, just swap them in. And the other thing is that Sprint's taking these phones and they're going to resell them.
Oh, yeah.
They're going to sell them for $400, $500.
Yep.
Especially my phone, which is still a very highly sought after phone, that they can refurbish it. They don't have to do much to it. Right. And they can turn around. They're going to take it from me for nothing. And they're going to turn around and sell it again for $500. And that kind of pisses me off. That's the principle of things. The other thing about Chuck's phone is...
You want simplicity. You want to just wash your hands of it and walk away.
But Chuck's phone, because it has this problem with the screen, and I was reading the contract. This is a really exciting podcast.
Right.
Talking about fucking cell phone contracts. But in the contract, it said that when you return the phone after your lease is up, it has to be in proper condition.
Oh, yeah,
There's a condition clause.
Yeah.
And so if it's not functioning... it doesn't meet their standards.
Right.
So I'm returning a phone now that has failed by no fault of Chuck, because he takes pretty good care of his shit. It's never been dropped. The screen's not broken. Maybe it's been dropped, but never like,
there's no crack.
Yeah, it's in very good condition. Always has a case on it, a screen protector, all that good shit. And so it's literally of no fault of his own that it's fucked up. And they're probably going to fuck with me on that.
Yeah,
they're probably going to say, oh, well, it's because it's not working. You're going to have to pay this fee. What I don't know. Who knows? I mean, it's not even in the contract what that penalty would be. All it says is this, some general statement is like, if you return a phone that is not functioning or has water damage, that you may be, I don't know, penalized in some fashion or something like that. I'm not a lawyer. But so that just makes me sick and pisses me off.
Yeah, I know.
So anyway, more to come on that.
Well,
not that anybody gives a fuck about my cell phone woes, but
they kind of do.
But we've talked about doing a whole "is it crap" segment on this, and I'm telling you right now, I don't.
The iPhone 7 crap?
Well, Chuck's is for sure.
Is.
I think just in general, not cell phones. Cell phones are smartphones. They are amazing.
They are.
We all carry supercomputers in our pockets, and if any child of the 80s or some, like myself, born in the mid 70s, who grew up looking at an Apple IIe or a IBM clone from the 80s, thinking about what that was capable of compared to what this thing is capable of, it's amazing. It's miraculous how far we've come. So they're cool as hell. It's the fucking companies. It's
right.
But again, we always, as I say, and we've said here before, hail capitalism. If they can get away with it, we're supply and demand. They've got something. I want it, so I'm going to continue to pay $300 a month for it, probably.
It's those cultural shifts, though, like cutting the cord with cable.
Right.
People get so used to paying $100, $150, $200 a month for their TV,
right?
Until you're not, and then you just don't want to do it anymore, and you're going to pay $20 for some other service,
right? So here I'm going to
wonder if that's going to happen with phones at some point.
At some point there'll be something. I don't know what it'll be. I've racked my brain over this too. It's like what will be
smartwatches or something.
Yeah, maybe it's a watch, maybe it's the Google Glass or something along those lines. Who knows? Maybe it's some chip that they embed in your fucking brain, which is scary stuff, and I would hesitate to do that. But as much as I was sitting here saying that there's no big changes and there's nothing really exciting, Google Pixel 3 came out.
Oh, yeah.
And it looks like it's pretty...
It's a game changer.
Yeah, I don't know it's a game changer, but it's a pretty sharp device, and it's cool, and so I'm like, fuck, So, my wife wants to go to an iPhone, too. I've left that. I buried the lead on that, too. Yeah, so she's talking about wanting an iPhone. And I'm like, well, if that's what you want, because she's got a Mac, and it's like there's a lot of interoperability there, fine. If that's what you want, fair enough. You have lost my technical support. Yep. I will, now you got to go to the fucking nerd herd up at the Apple store. You got to make a phone call yourself, because I'm not doing that. I will not get condescended by some pimply-faced asshole Apple employee. I don't need that shit. See,
that's what your kids are for now. Now that your kids, my daughter has an iPhone, they're the troubles, they're the tech support now. Hey, why isn't mom's phone working? I don't know. Go give it to...
On another note, my oldest boy lost an AirPod.
Oh, yeah.
So he has the Apple. I bought him for his birthday. I bought him Apple AirPods. And he misplaced one. And he texted me to notify me of this. And he knew I was going to be pissed. He was pissed. He was pissed at himself. And I was like, well, man, retrace your steps. And he's like, oh, yeah, I've been all over campus. I've been everywhere I was. I can't find it. So I went on Apple's site. So give Apple some credit here. This is how cool these things are. You can track each individual.
What?
You can track the case, and you can track each individual earbud.
There's some GPS tracker in the earbud?
Yeah.
What?
Well, it's just sending out a signal, and it sends out some GPS signal that if it's not connected to your phone, it'll show you on a map where it was last connected to your phone.
Jeez.
So he claims that he has the case, and he has one. And according to the instructions, it says if you got that, it should still show you a beacon or a marker on a map. If you go to the Find My iPhone app, it'll show you where you were last connected to it. And he says, doesn't show it. And I call bullshit, but I don't have his phone. He's in fucking New Orleans, so I can't. And it pisses me off because I'm pretty sure I could figure it out. At least that's how I feel. So I said, go find the nerdiest dude. Go find the techiest guy on your floor, in your building, and have that son of a bitch help you. And so he said he was going to do that. Tim, I think, was his name. So hopefully Tim helped his ass. I don't think so. I probably would have heard if he'd have found it. But you can buy a replacement earbud AirPod for $50. But it's like, fuck, $50 for one fucking earbud.
Right.
You know? It's like, you know what? That's why you just get traditional headphones, and they have a cord, and, you know, they get tangled up in your pocket. But you know what? You don't fucking lose them. So, whatever. It's cool, though. It's cool technology. And it's like, well, yeah, where will it go next? I was at Sam's, and they had... we went through the tech aisle or whatever. They had headphones that were bone... What do they call it? It reverberates through your bones.
Oh, really?
So you put these... They don't go in your ears. They go, like, on your temples. And the vibration maybe it's called bone resonation. The vibration resonates through your bones.
Futuristic shit.
It's crazy. And the demo where they got a button, hit the play, was broken. So I was pissed. I was like, I really want to try that to see what that's like, because that might be a complete game changer, because I got really big ear holes, and every earbud that I tried, they always fall out. So I'd be cool if I could have something that just, you
never heard of that.
Stick it over your, I don't know.
It's cool.
So,
well, while we're
shit.
ranting about stuff that's not related to October or anything else.
Well, all this shit happened to me in October.
That's true.
So,
well, today in October, I was driving to work, morning, rush hour, whatever, but I'm going up 55, which is the least congested highway in the that cuts through the city. And I do have another Oktoberfest if you want, but
I may later. That was delicious.
So normally there's not a lot of traffic. It's never gridlock, stop and go. But there was an accident, right?
You're on 55?
55 north,
okay.
Yep. I'm like, God damn it. Somebody got an accident. Whatever. Then 3 miles later, there's another major accident. There's a sign saying it's going to be a 20-minute commute from wherever I am now to where this accident is. And it's like another 3 miles. So it's just totally
deadlocked.
Yeah,
just
basically.
Stopped.
And I'm like, how hard is it to drive to fucking work on a 5-lane highway without slamming your car into somebody or into a median or whatever? Like, is it that hard that there's got to be multiple accidents?
Well, it's not hard, but it's because too many people are on their fucking smartphones.
Well, that could be.
I guarantee it is. I mean, you've been commuting a significant amount your whole career, as have I. I spend 45 minutes to an hour on the highway every single day, and I'm on 270. A little different than 55, but not much. And used to be, I would see, this is not meant to be sexist, but women doing their makeup. I've never seen a man reading a book while driving, but I have seen several women. I have seen both sexes eat cereal while driving. Out of a bowl. I mean, not like, it's fine. You got a cup. Maybe you're going to drink your cereal. Yeah, that's cool. I whatever. But
Two hands.
Yeah, a fucking bowl and a spoon and Fruit Loops. Like, fuck, get a fucking bagel, you asshole.
Right.
I mean, God, it's just ridiculous. So, so those were the assholes that caused problems 12 years ago.
Yeah.
Now it's because everybody has to, respond to the Snapchat or whatever the fuck
Maybe they're
it is.
downloading our podcast.
Well, if they are, then,
complain.
more power to them.
Yeah.
But,
it just pisses me off. It's like we're all going about the same speed. We're all going about the same place. It's not that hard to drive down the highway and not
just keep
destroy the front of your vehicle on somebody's bumper. Like, really?
But I've had a theory in the past. I used to carpool with a buddy, and we would talk about all these things on our. We probably should have recorded that because there were some really great conversations then. But we would talk about how exactly that. How does this shit happen? Why is there this many stupid people? And I've made the point previously that it's never the person. It's not never. It's not as frequently as we think it is the person who rear-ended. It's not their fault.
Right.
It's someone way the fuck up there that fucked up.
Right. And everybody else is slamming their
chain
brakes
reaction.
on.
And most of the people, we've all had that butt-puckering moment where you slam on the fucking brakes and you're like, oh shit, I almost fucking died.
Yeah.
But there's 8 cars back, some asshole, just hit the back of a dump truck. So is it that guy's fault? Yeah, he was following too close, certainly. Right. But if 12 cars in front of him, some asshole hadn't fucked up, and then it would have never happened. Yeah. Cause and effect. Chicken with the egg.
It's usually
kind of shit.
some asshole weaving through traffic, going 10 miles an hour faster than everybody else, slamming on their brakes, and it's like, you're not going to get anywhere. If you pass me, the guy in front of me is going the same speed I am, you're going to get stopped one car up.
That's one of the most redeeming things, the most satisfying things about driving in traffic is whenever some asshole like that is weaving through and he's speeding up, and you're just cruising along. You're not, and then, a mile up the road, you pull up right next to him. You're like, hey, fucker, all that work. You were stressed out. You're fucking white knuckling your steering wheel, weaving in like an asshole. And here we both are, you dumb fuck.
Yep.
That's very satisfying.
Right, it is.
I like that a lot. But I'm sure I used to be that guy too, where, that's part of, I guess, moving up the corporate ladder and not having to be beholden to the clock. There are a lot of younger people, or even older people, that still have to, punch that clock, so to speak, the proverbial clock, show up on time. If I'm 10 minutes late, nobody gives a shit, and so I don't. But back whenever I did have to get there right at 7:30, I was probably that asshole weaving in, but that was a long time ago. So.
Well, I don't want to get into politics. There's a lot going on, and we don't need to go down that road, but...
This one's all over the place, man.
I know. This is going to be our October Rant episode. But I did want to complain about something I read the other day. It was a headline. And let me pull it up on my phone here so I can read the exact wording of it.
Can't believe he's going here.
I know. So,
he's gonna say the K word.
I am. Kavanaugh.
Yeah. Fuck.
Right?
There we go.
I don't want to go down that road, but here is the headline.
Just said the motherfucker's name.
Here's the headline that I saw yesterday. Democrats question legitimacy of Supreme Court after Kavanaugh confirmation. Question the legitimacy of our highest national court.
Okay. So,
Really?
we know how you feel because you just read the headline and you've made your opening statement.
Yeah.
So I have to be the devil's advocate here.
Right.
I think I agree with you that and we kind of talked about this a little bit before we hit go, that it's still the Supreme Court. And Republicans questioned the qualifications of Elena Kagan and Sonia Sotomayor several years ago whenever Obama appointed them. But we never questioned the legitimacy of that branch of the government.
You wouldn't suddenly say all these Supreme Court decisions are worthless. We shouldn't even bother because it's an illegitimate branch of the government anyway.
Right.
What?
Well, number one, the people that are saying that are radical in their views. Number two, I think where they're coming from, and I could see it coming from both angles, that in their mind they're blinded from the real crux of the issue is this guy qualified. They're blinded from it by all the other bullshit that's been thrown out there by the media and this whole process, that all they see is the controversy. All they see is the negativity and the negatives about this guy, and they no longer care, and it doesn't matter what evidence you provided, they no longer care whether or not he's a qualified justice.
Right.
Whether his jurisprudence is good and fair, whether he's constitutional or not, whether he's and how he's ruled, how all those opinions that he's written over his 20 plus year career. So I kind of get why people are saying that. I don't agree with it. I think that, and as we've stated on this podcast before, if people were to just open their eyes and look at things through a fair lens, they would see the hypocrisy in their statements.
Well, it's just that basically you didn't get what you wanted. You didn't get your way.
Right.
You tried to prevent this guy from getting nominated and confirmed, and it didn't work out. And now you're going to say that the entire branch of that government, that entire Supreme Court, is illegitimate? Like, no, come on.
But that's what the left has firmly stated that they will do. They said it right whenever he was announced as the potential justice, that they will do. And senators said it, that they will do everything in their power to prevent his confirmation.
Right. Yeah.
Was it? No, it wasn't Harry Reid. Who was it? Maybe it was Chuck Schumer, I think, that said it on a megaphone. We will do everything in our power to prevent his confirmation. So they very clearly stated what they're going to do. Now, whenever I don't know if it was Elena Kagan or Sotomayor, one of them was a little bit more controversial than the other. I want to say it was Sotomayor. I could be wrong. No, it was Kagan. I think it was Kagan because she was not a judge. I think she was a professor. She had no real judicial history, or maybe whatever. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. So no one's listening. Whatever. Who cares? Yeah, but the right was just completely up in arms about her appointment. Like, she's going to legislate from the bench, and this is not what the justices are supposed to be. And her confirmation was by not as slim, but a slimmer margin, like 60-40 or something like that. So it goes both ways.
Yeah. I feel like it goes further the other way, though. The left is going way more nuts than the right went over certain things.
There's no doubt about it. I mean, based on what we've seen in the news over the past couple of weeks, there's absolutely no doubt that they're going further. But that may be a sign of the times, and just things are progressing much quicker.
Yeah.
Some people say we're heading towards civil war, which shit may be true. I don't know, but I hope not. I hope that cooler heads will prevail, but it's a sad state of affairs that people can't just take a step back and look at the past 10 years of this United States history, and they will remember Barack Obama saying elections have consequences.
Yeah.
And he said that to the Republicans in power and the Republican voters whenever I think the press corps asked him, what do you say to all the people out there who are against this Supreme Court nomination? And his words, I'm paraphrasing, obviously, I believe his response was, elections have consequences. Hey, Donald Trump won. Right. And no matter how much the left does not want to acknowledge that, it's a fucking fact.
Right.
And we got to deal with it. So there's a lot of things that he's said and done that I don't like, but hey,
sure, we
got to deal with it. And this country's persevered and survived much worse things. So,
and is doing pretty well right now.
Well, yeah,
but
economically,
my thing was,
and geopolitically.
If you're gonna say, if your whole intention was that we're gonna delay this hearing and hope that whatever, we can get more Democrats on the floor in a couple months, whatever. If that was your intention, and that didn't work out, and you're mad about it, I get it. Yeah. But if you're going to get mad about these allegations of sexual misconduct, sexual assault, whatever you want to call it, with pretty much zero evidence. I mean, I said as much on the air. I think I definitely said it off the air. I think something could have happened. I think this woman probably knew him in college and in her high school or whatever. I guess it was high school, and they ran in the same circles, and maybe went to some party. Like, something might have happened. I'm not, if they were completely random people that didn't know each other, she didn't even live in that part of the country, you would write it off right away.
Right.
But since some of these circumstances might make sense, something might have happened. But the fact of the matter is, there is no evidence to support it. Even the people she named as alleged witnesses are not supporting her stance. So really, you want to crucify this guy with no evidence? Is that what we're saying now?
That's all it takes
a nation
in today's world. I mean, that's all. That's all it takes.
Good luck to you when something comes against you. When some fucker comes out of nowhere and makes an accusation against you. Not you, Ryan, but
thank you.
You, the people.
I was worried for a second there.
Good luck to you.
Said something about me.
When somebody says something with the same amount of evidence as there was against Kavanaugh, and you freak out when people are ready to crucify you. So that's what I think irritates me the most.
It's already happened to some degree, and it's kind of unbelievable how quickly it gets cast aside.
Yeah.
That accusations have been made against a lot of Hollywood folks. Yeah. So I watched The Walking Dead, and I also used to. I haven't watched it this season yet. There's only been one episode. But The Talking Dead with Chris Hardwick.
Oh, yeah.
So Chris Hardwick is a super nerd, right? He has a podcast, and a very successful one, and he has a very successul Nerdist website and the Nerdist podcast, I believe. And he's a great host of that show, and he's a super fan of Fear the Walking Dead, all those shows, and Better Call Saul and Breaking Bad and all that stuff, all the AMC shows. Does a hell of a job. But he was accused, and he denied it, and it just kind of went away. And he's still the host of The Talking Dead.
Interesting.
And so I don't know very much about that whole case. It kind of came and went through the media. You didn't hear much about it, but it seems to me like Chris Hardwick didn't do anything wrong. And the left and the Hollywood elite seem to have accepted that without much consequence.
Yep.
Now, he's the host of a stupid talk show on AMC.
Right.
He's not a Supreme Court justice with a lifetime appointment.
There's a difference there.
To have an impact on all Americans.
But he's a
lives.
figure in what we would consider the left, the Hollywood elite or whatever.
And so in there comes the question of, to what standard does everyone have to abide? And I would say that all humanity must abide to a very high standard. So whether you're a Supreme Court justice or whether you're a Hollywood actor or a beloved African-American comedian who's been around for 50 years, if you deviate from those standards and there's enough substantiated evidence to prove that has occurred, you should suffer the consequences.
Yep.
So, but again, that same standard applies to everybody. So if Chris Hardwick, there was nothing there, and he said, nope, there's nothing there, she's lying, and it just went away, then that's what should happen for whoever it is. If you're the gas station attendant at the Mobile, or if you're Supreme Court justice, or if you're an actor, or if you're, doesn't matter what you are, the standard should be the same.
Right.
Likewise, if someone does something wrong, whether you're Bill Cosby or whether you're, a clerk, the standard should be this. Should the clerk lose his job? Why not? Why not? I mean, he certainly shouldn't be rewarded for it in any way. There should be some punishment for that crime or for that lack of judgment or malfeasance, whatever you want to call it. Yep. Yeah, I'm ready, Jarod. Are you ready? I mean, Jarod's bladder. This man doesn't piss. So what seemed like mere milliseconds for you folks was just, I don't know, he pissed for about a half an hour. I mean, he was like a cow on a flat rock in there. His bladder was full, and so he paused recording. I believe that's the first time that has ever happened.
I think so.
We have never had to stop mid-show.
I think we've maybe paused it for, I don't know.
Well, we've stopped mid-show for other things.
Hey,
but never for a urination break.
That's the issue. I can hold it forever, all day long.
Apparently not even 58 minutes.
But when I got to go...
50 minutes.
I got to go. And it's going to take 5 minutes at least.
Well, I guess I got to give you some credit that you probably haven't pissed since Saturday. So
it's been a few days. So.
Yeah. No. So anyway, you've completely derailed. I was on a roll.
I know. I'm sorry.
It was probably a good thing because if you get me on a roll when in regards to politics, then
it turns ugly.
Yeah, well, it turns ugly, but I can go on for days, and I have strong opinions. I feel like I'm fair, and I think, but I know opinions are so strong today that just the misuse of one little word, could completely taint your argument, and then maybe this will result in some angry emails. I don't know. Regardless, I think that the point of why you wanted to bring it up was that we should probably not be so angry and so divided.
But it makes me angry how angry people get. So
sure, yeah. I've referred to, not on the show, but to other people in conversation at work or whatever. I have an aunt that lives in San Francisco and has since the late 60s, actually like 67 or 68. Flower child, and she was born in the Midwest and grew up on a farm, and she's an awesome, super fun lady, and but she is a raging liberal. She's a bleeding heart liberal, and I love her to death. And she called me I guess it was the day after, or maybe 2 days after Trump's election, and we talk pretty regularly. I haven't talked to her in a couple months probably, but we still talk. She actually calls my wife, which is not even her aunt. But she calls my wife quite a bit. And she said some pretty radical things about our, at the time, president-elect, Donald Trump, about his demise. And I said, hey, you probably shouldn't say those kinds of things. Cause,
you mean about like someone taking him down or whatever?
Yeah. Basically, that she couldn't wait till it happened, So I said, hey, you really, she goes, well, that motherfucker. And she just, went off. And I said, look, I know you don't like him. I said, there's a lot of people that didn't like Barack Obama and a lot of people that said similar statements about Barack Obama. But here's the reality of things, is that we have survived. This nation, America, has survived 8 years of Barack Obama, 8 years of George W. Bush, who everybody thought was the worst ever, 4 years of his father, 8 years of Reagan, 8 years of Clinton. So depending on who you're talking to, good presidents, all of them. Then you get to Carter and Ford. Not great presidents, depending on who you talk to, but pretty much across the board, nothing really remarkable. Nixon, not great. We've survived a lot of things. We've survived assassinations. We've survived, controversy after controversy after controversy. So 4 years or 8 years, whatever it happens to be, of Donald J. Trump, this country will survive, I think. We may be on the brink of some pretty radical activities. I hope not, but I think, there's certainly that possibility. But I think no matter what, we'll survive. So
you might even get a fancy wall out of it.
Yeah, well, there might be a wall, there might be a war. But honestly, in reality, though, our military activity is less today than it was whenever he took office. And
people have been pretty nervous for the last many, many years about North Korea and the lunatic they've got over there with his finger on the button.
Right. Well, and
now
ISIS,
we're all talking of peace and whatever.
Well, he's not he. Our military under his and the general's directions, they're making progress in the Middle East and the war on terror, if you want to call it that. Now, is that a result of his leadership? I don't know. I don't know enough about that. But, something changed. Something's different. So, look, bottom line is that we will persevere. This country is not defined solely by its leader. If it were, then we'd have been fucked a long time ago, because we've had a lot of shitty leaders over the years. And is also not defined by one of 9 Supreme Court justices or one of 50 senators or one of 400 or however many members of the House of Representatives. So get over it. And yes, elections have consequences, and they're all important, and everybody should vote on November 6th. And if you don't know what you're voting for, and you don't know the people, Jarod and I talked for 20 minutes before this about we live in Illinois, and so the candidates for the governor of Illinois, and it's J.B. Pritzker and Bruce Rauner, are the Republican and Democrat. There's also, I think there's Libertarian, and there's also a Conservative Party, which they're going to get 4 votes each or something like that. But you should know who you're voting for, and know not just their...
And why.
Well, right. Not just the letter behind their name, but, who are they tied to? You know? I mean, Bruce Rauner is a Republican, but he is very tight with, what's his name? The Rahm Emanuel.
Yep.
So the R and the D don't mean shit, especially when it comes to Illinois politics, because most of them are crooked as hell. But so just know what you're voting for. Don't just register and go blindly into the booth. Do a little research. Instead of watching the highlights from the UFC fight from this weekend, which was amazing. I watched it live. Oh yeah, I went over to a buddy's house and we watched it in his garage. It was great time. Bunch of dudes just sitting around drinking beer watching UFC. But instead of wasting your time watching highlights from that, do a little research on your politics before you go into the voting booth, because it does matter. And but it takes an educated electorate, I think, an informed electorate.
Yeah. I feel like we have a less and less informed electorate all the time, and they're more emotional and swayed by the media.
Well, yeah. I mean, you look at what happened. Taylor Swift came out, and she's never been political. And I'm not, my wife's a fan of Taylor Swift, and she's fine to listen to, and she's all right. But she's never been political, notably. And she came out and made a political statement earlier this week, or maybe it was over the weekend. And she, I don't know if she technically backing where's she from? Nashville? So a Kentucky Democratic Senate candidate. A Senate candidate that happened to support Kavanaugh. But it doesn't matter. She's made her statement to against a Republican for a Democrat, and it resulted in a giant uptick in voter registration, most notably among 18 to 25-year-olds, whether male or female. I don't know the demographics, but so all those people are now going to vote. I'm glad. They all should. 18 to 25-year-olds should all go out and register to vote. I've encouraged my son. He's not at home. I sent him the instructions on how to absentee vote. I don't know how he's going to vote. He doesn't agree with me 100% on anything, on most things. Yeah. But I want him to vote. And but I hope that he's informed. And that's the point that I'm trying to make. I'm beating it to death, but
yeah, and I don't consider myself a Republican, and I don't consider myself a Democrat. It really depends on the candidate and the election and what the issues are at the time. And I'd like to think more people are like that. I don't feel like enough people are like that, but people vote the way their parents did, or they vote the way one party is,
Well, I mean, from what we talked about,
if you're convicted with it, then fine.
Well, sure, But yeah, don't just blindly, pull the lever. You were saying about J.B. Pritzker. I honestly need to do more research. We've got a couple weeks before that election, and I plan to. But what you were saying is that him and Rauner and Rahm Emanuel, they all run in the same circle. Right. Now, they're not chummy. I'm sure they've shared a shot together, maybe at a tavern, or maybe they, but so who do you trust in that case? If they're all arguably bad, are not good for the state that you live in, then maybe you vote for that.
Vote libertarian.
Yeah, vote libertarian, or vote for that conservative candidate, or write in somebody. Yeah, write in Kermit the Frog. I don't know, but well,
what if they want to write into us? How can they do that?
That's a great question. I'm glad you asked. So on all the social medias, you can find us at Load This Podcast, or you can find us on YouTube. Get a load of this podcast. And you can send us an email, loadthispodcast@gmail.com. So I wanted to say that we had a little bit of a downtime on the Instagrams, which is probably our most active platform for social media. But we made a post recently, and I'll say we, since I'm the one that makes the post, though, I'm going to say I was invited to be a guest on another podcast. I got to figure out what the fuck it was. We had a comment, and then we had a message from a fellow podcaster out there, and damn it if I can't find it right now.
It's like the Association of Klondike Bars or something?
Not quite. It was the Urban Transmit podcast.
Huh.
So it looks like they're on SoundCloud, which we are not. We used to be.
Yeah.
But things went sideways with SoundCloud. We're on every other platform, but they're on SoundCloud. Urban Transmit Podcast is the name of their show.
And they invited you on?
Yeah. Yeah, they sent us a message and they said, "Hey, good stuff. It seems like our content aligns. We'd love to have you as a guest if you want to come on via Skype." So I have not yet responded to them. I will. Mm-hmm. I just don't know if I want to. I think I do. I think we do.
Do it.
I think that we should.
Yeah.
I think maybe we set up a time where we can get on Skype, or
I'll just look over your shoulder.
But they, I believe, I've listened to some of their posts on Instagram. They have every one of their posts is video, or not, maybe not video, but they have audio behind pictures. And they're African American gentlemen. It sounds like, not to be racist.
What does that mean?
Yeah, well, but they look. It's called the Urban Transmit. Sure. I mean, they're urban folks, and but just based on the content that they've posted, I think it'd be a hell of an interesting conversation with them, and I'd love to. So I'm going to explore that, and we'll see, and maybe we will reciprocate. And I don't know if we can allow that or accommodate that technologically speaking, but to have another podcaster on.
Right.
What really pissed me off is that they have 1,344 followers on Instagram. We don't.
We're getting there.
We're, a 13th of that. And I'm like, how the fuck?
So what Ryan is saying, if you're not already following us on Instagram, you should follow us. Ryan is really good and clever with the photos that he posts about our episodes.
I try.
I laugh out loud each time.
I put a lot of effort into it. If you check out our post on this most recent episode, well, before this, you see a picture of the Queen farting.
Yeah.
And so if you were listening to the show, you know exactly what, and Klondike Bar and A-Rod looking confused. I think, some are better than others.
Yeah.
That wasn't some of my best work, but it works. It gets the point across. I think the point of my posts there are to say, like, what the fuck could they possibly be talking about? We have Klondike Bars, the Queen, and A-Rod both looking equally confused or flatulating. What the hell could this podcast be about?
Creative content.
I think so. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm crazy.
Yeah, well, I think we're going to dive a little bit into some more fall October theme. We didn't really do that much this time. We did the Oktoberfest beer, which I think was really good.
Yeah, it was delicious.
Way to go, Shiner. We'll have to ask you guys on Twitter.
Yeah, and we still got some ghost stories and shit to throw at you, too.
I know. I keep pushing for it. Ryan keeps saying, let's wait.
The timing is not quite
Halloween.
right. And I as much as I like telling the story, and I think it's an interesting story.
It is.
And if you're new to the podcast, I am not what you would call a man of faith, meaning I don't believe in much of an afterlife or Holy Spirit or any of those things, but I've had a paranormal experience in my life, and Jarod,
and I also don't believe in that kind of stuff. And the story that Ryan told me is very convincing. It nearly gives you chills.
Well, it gives me chills every time I tell it.
Right.
So, but anyway,
it's good stuff.
Upcoming. Maybe the next episode. It might be the one after that. I don't know. It'll be before the end of October. I guarantee it.
Halloween-esque.
Halloween-ish, yeah. So Halloweener.
That's right.
Wiener in tribute. So...
Yeah.
We've got a pretty good docket of shit to talk about. So I didn't get this is the what I had written down for this.
Yeah.
I had written down broke shit, talking about all the broke shit in my life. We didn't talk about recycling.
No, we didn't.
We did talk about cell phones. We did talk about politics. We didn't talk about my dog, which falls into the broke shit category. We didn't talk about scary movies, and we didn't talk about Well, we did kind of talk about pumpkin-ish,
a little bit of pumpkin stuff. Yeah.
But yeah, so we got that's just October shit. I think we got stuff on that paper too that may be October related.
And just wait for Christmas time. Come on,
my
folks.
God, jingle fucking balls everywhere. We're gonna be jingling your balls. We're coming right through the fucking speakers of your car and jingling your balls.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know. That might be sexual assault. We might have Me Too moments all over the country.
Your balls. Yeah, that might. Hashtag Me Too.
Yeah.
As usual, fuck the Cubs. Until next time.
Hold on a second. Before, because the Cubs are fucking done.
They're done, but fuck them anyway.
Well, right. But
are we going to say like, it's fuck October, the Blackhawks?
Well, yeah, we could do that. We could do fuck. That's definitely. I think after the Major League Baseball postseason is over, we could fully switch over to fuck the Blackhawks. Yep. But I hate the Yankees.
Yeah.
And
we all heard your A-Rod rant.
Yeah. So maybe it's fuck the Yankees.
Here's the problem.
Maybe it's fuck the Brewers.
I kind of say fuck the Red Sox.
Nah.
Because they beat us twice in the World Series in the last decade.
I don't disagree with that. There's a little bit of animosity there, but as far as franchises go, the Red Sox are far more respectable
relatable
than the evil empire of the New York Yankees.
The one thing that I have for the Yankees is the Cardinals kind of have that bragging rights in the National League of the most pennants, the most championships. The Yankees have that in the American League. Well, they have it across the board.
League, yeah.
So I kind of like, it's hard for me to bash them too much because I feel like, well, then people could turn that around and bash the Cardinals. So I don't know.
It's a different,
but I hear what
they're
you're
on a
saying.
different level. I mean, 27 championships, 26, 27? I think it's 27. But they're the fucking Yankees. I mean, you're not, unless you live in the Bronx, you shouldn't be a Yankee fan.
I agree.
I have no love for the Yankees, but the Cardinals do hold the postseason advantage over the New York Yankees.
Oh yeah.
I don't know exactly. I had to look up the numbers, but how many times we faced the Yankees in the World Series, and we have a better record than the Yankees in postseason versus the Yankees.
We can probably thank Bob Gibson for that.
Yeah, Gibson had well, no, because he only faced the Tigers. Did he?
Okay, I just assumed.
Well, the Yankees. No, the Red Sox in '68. It was the Tigers in '67. This is boring. All right, let's wrap it up. Fuck the Yankees.
Fuck the Yankees. Fuck the Cubs. Until next time, I'm Jarod.
I'm Ryan.
And get a load of this.
What else do we have?
Well, we talked about October-themed stuff. So, scary movies, Halloween-type movies. Fall weather theme. The weather's about to change. We do have our Oktoberfest beer.
All right.
We got enough to start with.
Well, we got to get two.
I know.
So, I don't know what the...
We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah. Shiner October. Here we go.
Yeah.
So, is this going to be fucking pumpkin-y?
No, I don't think so.
Marzen.
Yeah.
And you've done some research.
I have.
Yeah, go figure.
No, it's not like a pumpkin ale. It's just the beer they brew for October.
Well, I'm glad you sent the credit card thing. I looked at that. I did see your email. I just didn't have a chance to respond today. But I'm glad that that's a myth.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't seem...
I know.
It doesn't seem intuitive to me. I mean, I can kind of see how it would become a legend, how it would become a myth or whatever. But it just seems like that's something that the credit card company would put out to try to get you.
Yeah,
to try to get you to piss away your money. So, we should probably, All right. Well, I'll take some photos. Some photos of us for the Instagrams or whatever.
Instagrams.
Yeah.
All right. Ready?
Might need to use your charger again tonight.
Oh yeah.
I'm at 45%. I'm
okay.
good.
If you need to, it's right here.
Right on.